What's good, family? Just finished week 6. We got week 5 and week 6 to go over. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I just started my first 2 days of senior year at college. Crazy. Kind of nuts. But they've been going good so far. I've got like some crazy classes this year. One being a music class, which is gonna be nice. I actually took it 50% because of this book. I almost didn't take it's Survey of Jazz, and I almost just took a random one to finish this one credit that didn't transfer from my last school. But I was like, why would I not do jazz when I use a lot of jazz? Anyway, let's see. Yeah, let's start on week 5. I took hella notes these past 2 weeks, just because I feel like there's starting to be more and more stuff to write down, and it's also just like on top of the morning pages, writing just like there's writing in the book, and then there's also a lot more writing for the tasks, I feel like. So yeah, so let's see. Where did week 5 start? Oh. Okay, so week 5 was recovering a sense of possibility. Bang. Yeah, it kind of focused. Let's see what I wrote down instead of reading out of the book. Yeah, so this week was really focused on redefining what like you think, reconfiguring your idea on God, and like, because I grew up in a very my mom is very Christian, my dad is a little bit more agnostic, I would say, but I did grow up in a family that went to church every Sunday, and I did Sunday school and all that stuff, so my brain was very conditioned under like Christian beliefs and stuff like that, and like as I grew up, kind of questioned it and started reading like a ton more books. I read like some Buddhist books, probably like 2 Buddhist books, and then yeah, just like anything I could find that kind of seemed interesting about religion. I was just kind of reading through, trying to figure out like what I believe. And this book is really cool because it just like, it doesn't make you really picture him as, or like put him under any religion other than just like he's the top dog artist of like ever, because I mean he created like everything. So there's no like, I don't know, Christianity and a lot of other religions feel super pressured, I guess I would say, and that's kind of what took me away from it. Oh my God, there's like crazy lightning outside. Also, it's August and I cannot stand Nevada in August. Why is it not sunny, bro? Why is it literally thunderstorming outside? Anyway, so week 5 was a lot about God, and just like being more, if he's an artist, then he's cool with you being an artist. He's cool with me being an artist. It's not like if you pursue your artist dream, you're just gonna end up broke. Which is kind of like what we live in, a society that kind of configures that, I feel like, in a lot of us, where you can't chase your dreams or else you're gonna end up broke and homeless. That's the payoff, unless you're lucky. So that's not true at all. I mean, I don't know, I don't think you have to be insanely successful to just do art the rest of your life, and only art for the rest of your life if that's what you want to do. And so week 5 was a lot about God and like reconfiguring how he can do that. And then once we get into week 6, it's a lot more focused on money and like why you think being broke, and I don't know, a lot of details with that. So we'll get there. But week 5, I also wrote down, there were some examples in this chapter about like people that the author Julia's worked with that like they were afraid to shut a certain door in their like creative life, like an author having a really good agent, but that agent, their relationship is super toxic and it's actually not helping her actual artist thrive. It's just kind of a safe spot to keep her like stability in her creative career. But as soon as she cut off ties with that agent, ended up finding a new one way better and progressing her creative career even more. So, I mean, I just wrote down cutting big ties can open even bigger doors. And then as long as you're looking, you will find it. It talks about a lot in this chapter about just like noticing small things, which I feel like I've been like focused on before I read this book, just from other like self-help books that I've read. So I've kind of already done that, but I have felt myself kind of not as much anymore. And so these past 2 weeks have been focused on the small things, and that's, my mood's just been pretty elevated for sure. I can't lie. So it's been good. And then I did write down some things that I noticed that have made my mood a little bit better. I'm feeling way less judgmental, way more understanding, just like when I'm talking to people about stuff, and not being so like jump to conclusions as I kind of was a few weeks ago, I feel like. And so that's been good. I feel like my inner artist is talking way more. I'm finding joy in like stuff. I get super focused on like, if I'm gonna do something, it's gotta progress me somehow. I feel like a lot of people are like that. If I'm doing a certain task, it has to be a task. It can't just be something fun. But I feel my inner artist being like, yo, like, let me show you. Like, we painted the picture frame, made it a little bit more personal. We painted this picture frame. Did I show it? Can you see? Yeah, painted that picture frame. And now next, I kind of just want to I have this fat wall that's blank, and I'm thinking I could like get a huge canvas and paint whatever. So hopefully next week when I do this again, that'll have something on it. We'll see. Maybe that'll be the artist date this week. Speaking of artist dates, last week for week 5, I did not get one done. I was coming back from a trip and then immediately moved into this place. So I didn't have a lot of time to myself, so we didn't get one last week. But this week I was kind of settled in, and me and my inner artist went to it has to do with week 6 tasks actually. Let me finish week 5 and then we'll get there. Week 5 tasks. Oh wait, there's the last thing I want to talk about for the chapter was virtue trap that I was talking about, which kind of hit for me a little bit. And it's basically, artists have a tendency, or I guess just a lot of people have a tendency to like, everybody wants to be a good person, but sometimes that can get out of hand and you're doing so much that you're not respecting yourself, and you can't even tell that it's self-sabotage. And a big reason why that happens is because, at least for me, this hit, but she was talking about how we're afraid of people saying like, so-and-so, oh, you used to be nice, or you used to care more about how I felt, or you used to be more considerate, or you used to be more thoughtful. And when you kind of put yourself first and say yes to yourself before you say yes to other people, it can come off like that. And I feel like a lot of my life I've spent trying to make people feel like I care about them, and like sometimes go over the top with that a little bit, I feel like, and that can make you be more just like, not even when you're really resentful of yourself, you're actually like feeling resentful towards the people that you're helping, and then it's like, you chose to do this, why are you mad at them? Like, they're asking for the help, or they're expecting the help because you've always helped, so, and you've never said no, so who is that really on? And then working through getting not as upset with yourself or resenting yourself for doing that, and just like saying yes to yourself and being okay with, if people are really upset that you're putting yourself first every once in a while, or even just like, I don't know, you know when people are being a little bit over the top with that kind of stuff. And but I feel like before you get to that point, it's really hard to see that stuff. So yeah, they just Julia called it the virtue trap. And let's see, and it was just about like, she had us write down, yeah, there's just a bunch of like little, it's called the virtue trap quiz, and it's just a bunch of like fill in the blanks. The biggest lack in my life is blank. The greatest joy in my life is blank. My largest time commitment is blank. As I play more, I work blank. So it's basically to ask yourself, does your life serve you or only others? And are you self-destructive? So that was good. And I feel like I've gotten a lot better at saying yes to me first over the past just like year or two. So, but this was good to just like write it out. It was pretty cool. So yeah, and then now moving on to the tasks for week 5. They were mostly just a lot about redefining God and all that. And then a little bit into money, which I feel like was just setting up for week 6. And then, yeah, just like looking at your creative blocks and why you're blocked and what's the payoff in being blocked, kind of like week 4. So yeah, week 6 is recovering a sense of abundance. And this is more about money, and just like looking at like not only abundance with wealth, but abundance in like your creativity, your relationship to just like the world, like God and just the world, which sounds really broad, but let me pull out my week 6 notes. Let's see. Talked about how we're very focused, for me, at least for me. For example, I feel like I needed to depend on money more than anything else, because money's what provides, kind of in my head, and how that's just like how I was raised, to be really careful with money, and not just because it's what's gonna keep you like going through life. And so I feel like it's been hardwired in my brain to like save every penny you can. Don't spend money on stuff that you don't need it, if you don't need it. And yeah, I feel like my whole idea around money is pretty toxic, but I'm trying to fix that. But this chapter just kind of talked about how God is money. The way we see money, God's the one providing, and God's the one, like, if you're pursuing the things that you want, that's another thing it said, is what we really want to do is what we're really meant to do, and what we want to do is what God wants us to do. And if God's money, then God's going to provide for you while you do those things. That's kind of like the overarching kind of thing that I got from it. But basically just money will come. Money will show up when you need it. And so I think this chapter like has definitely started changing my mind with money and just like how it works. And yeah, that was pretty cool. And then it went into luxury, and kind of like this week was Julia had us count like every penny that we spent. I did not do every penny. I can't say I did every penny, but I was like trying to keep track for sure. I spent a lot of money on food, which, I mean, necessity, so can I really be that mad? And I'm also, now that I'm moved into my place and I actually can, I'm settled, not living out of my car, couch surfing or anything like that, I'm going to the gym like consistently, like buying a lot of food for that. So that was the main spot my money was going. But it also talked about luxury and spending money on little things that you don't like need necessarily, but you should buy because it's what your inner artist kind of just needs. Some of the examples, like, and it's not like clothes and jewelry and things like that. It's talking about like a paint set, a poster, just random stuff. I bought this. This is a gem. I have to show you guys this. There's also in the chapters, there's been a lot of like her saying to buy images to make like an image file of like things you want, what you want your future house to look like, what you want your future job to look like, where you want to live. And I really want to travel out of the country because I've only been out twice. So I bought a few things and put up a few things in this room. Anyway, bro, $4 for this in the frame. $4? Banger. Some luxury. Grease poster. No, this was $10. That was $4. $10 for the frame and the thing. And then $4 for this grease poster. Very fire, I think. And then we got the bongo up top, up there. And then, yeah. And then I also bought this at an antique store. Tell me this isn't fucking sick. Little Orca clock. Anyway, so yeah, indulge on myself a little bit. So yeah, and then the task. So this is what I wanted to wait for. So the artist date this week, I actually did right before I started filming this. 2 of the tasks was like collect rocks and flowers and stuff. Yeah. Collect rocks. Another one was collect flowers. Another one. So, okay, yeah, I'll start with that. Hold up. So the artist date went and picked up some sick flowers, but wait till I see you, Mama Jama. So these are kind of cool, no? This one's kind of dying already. It was like, I just grabbed it. And then this one's hella sick. Ooh. Come on now. She damn near perfect. So, and then Pride and Joy. Whoa. Crazy. And actually, look at where this guy goes. Tell me this isn't sick as hell. Hey. Actually, you guys might have already seen her when I showed you the clock. But yeah, so the homie's there. I'm going to keep that one. But the other task is write 5 postcards to some people you want to hear from. So I think what I'm going to do, I know at least 1 or 2 of the people that I'm sending to hella fuck with pressed flowers. So I'm going to press some flowers, send it to those people. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to use these for. I'm going to keep that one. And then I did collect some rocks too. Not a great selection when I went out. But we grabbed some cool, the coolest ones we could find. This one's just pretty orange, and had good weight to it, so I thought I'd pick it up. Could be a little, paper holder if I need it. But for now, it's just gonna go on the windowsill. I think all these are gonna go on the windowsill except one. I don't even want to show that one. He's cool though. Lava rock or something. And then we got spotted granite. No, that's not the name of it. But yeah, cool. If you guys have names for that, let me know. And the last one, I kept this one in my pocket because this one's gonna be my little fidget rock, but I don't know, he's just so smooth and like fits my fingers perfect. And yeah, Julia was like, I love clocks because you can fidget with them whenever, when you're in class or like whatever. So that's what I've been doing, and it's good because if I could show you guys my phone, I just press on the corner of it like all the time. I just fidget with it in my pocket, and it just like, it gets busted every case I get. So I can't ever buy like nice cases, but now maybe I can. Look at that, just because of a rock. But yeah, so check in. Morning pages, I've been grinding and I'm actually enjoying doing them. It literally like clears my head so much before the day. And and this is actually crazy, but for a good amount of time, like a few months, I definitely was like smoking weed. Let me get a little vulnerable with you guys. I was definitely smoking weed to like make my anxiety kind of calm down. When I first started smoking, I was just like, I'd smoke every once in a while. Like the most I would do during a week is like maybe like 3 times a week. And then, dude, did you guys see that lightning? What's going on? Anyway, and then I feel like shit got hella hectic in my life, and I was stressed out a lot, and I feel like I was using it just to make everything a little bit calmer around me. But I was doing it too much, like waking and baking all the time, which there's nothing wrong with waking and baking unless you're using it to not deal with some shit. And I feel like I was doing that a little bit. But now I'm kind of locked in, and the morning pages just clear that anxiety that like smoking was doing for me. So it was like, I don't know, I look forward to doing it in the morning, and then like in the morning I like kind of always have woke up with like heart beating, like anxiousness, you know? But dude, writing the morning pages and just like sitting there, I can just feel myself like just letting it all out. It's kind of crazy. It's super cool. I don't know. I went from like smoking like 5 days every week at least to if not every day to I don't know, not even really thinking about it that much. So yeah, it's been super good. Already talked about the artist date and synchronicity. She wanted us to talk about it a little bit. Bro, I'm getting like a ton of Instagram pages that I just have followed for forever, and whether they're music or they're just like kind of blog, aesthetic blogs or like whatever, following me back, like letting me know my music's super, feels super good, and like not even, I don't know how do I want to put it, like I can tell they're noticing me, like the authenticity in the music, and they're mentioning that a lot, and it's like pages that I follow for a long time and that I look up to as like creators, and so it's super, super cool. And I feel like that has a lot to do with this book and kind of locking in on myself, you know what I mean? So yeah, I hope you guys are doing fantastic. I hope you all are thriving, that your summer went amazing. If you're going back to school, lock in. We can do this, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks, family.